buddy, my new like bestie. We've chatted for like 5 minutes, pre-recording, and I feel like I've known you forever. I am with Royal Lynn. I kind of don't know where to start because there's just so much good stuff going on with you. And again, I am such a stickler for amazing young talent and amazing young female talent. And I think now is just such a great time, and you are so unique. So talk to me about Punktry. Talk to me about the Punktry Club and how you organically kind of became this artist that you're becoming.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on. It's so good to finally meet you and chat, and I'm so excited to be here. Um, Punctury kind of started because I grew up in the country throughout my whole childhood, and I love metal, and I've always been a metalhead. So as I was growing up, I kept coming back to wanting to be a part of the metal community and the rock community, and I just loved what was happening. And yeah, so it kind of just stemmed out of just being raised in the country, but also listening to certain bands on my CD Walkman.
So
So,
let me ask you, so being a small town girl and you're a metalhead, were
mhm.
you somebody who, I mean, were there a lot of yous in the community, or were you kind of unique to who you were?
I am a black sheep through and through. I don't think that anyone really loved the same things I loved at that moment. Not because I just don't think they were exposed to it maybe the way I was. Like I had MTV Music Countdown like on every single morning before school. So I was kind of like learning of these new bands, and we had a Radio Shack in our small town that we would order CDs from. So I would send my parents down there to order me certain things like, Green Day and System of the Down, Day to Remember, like bands like that, Avril Lavigne, obviously. I'm such a big fan. But yeah, it was people like that that influenced me so much even now in my music. So I'm so grateful that I got exposed to those people early on.
And I can hear all of those influences, which is so extraordinary that you say that, because I do hear your punk influences. I definitely hear in so much of the music, the bangers, there's that metal influence.
Mhm.
Certainly that organic feel with the country vibe. And I love that because I think that makes for some great songwriting.
Thank you.
Country songwriters, especially the old school country songwriters,
Yeah.
Willie and Chris Christopherson. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that when you're thinking about songwriting. So all of these ingredients, I think, really have made you such a unique artist. Like I heard, started listening to your music yeah, maybe like within the last year. And I think, I saw 6 Feet Deep. I love the video.
Thank you.
And I started to kind of get a feel for who you were and what you were doing. And I'm like, I've got to have this girl on a Zoom, especially with this new single, Death Wish, which we'll talk about in a few. But when did you know you could write songs? Because I get the feeling that 6 Feet Deep was kind of a breakthrough writing experience for you.
6 Feet Deep was definitely the departure of how far can we push the box, essentially. And why does one thing need to sound a certain way? And why can't we just create art without borders? And that's really where it started. I've been writing since I was a kid, actually. The songs I was writing back then were not good, but my mom actually like keeps all of those things and like all the
I
songs
love
I've ever
that. I
written.
love that.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
really
that.
cute.
Yeah.
It's so cute. So yeah, I was in singing lessons and guitar lessons by the age of 10. And I was touring around like my small town and surrounding areas. Right off the bat, I was in all the plays. I was in all the bands in high school and public school. So I know how to like play trumpet as well.
You
Little
look
fun
so
fact.
badass with your guitar too. Like
Thank you.
you're a really, really great player. And I love watching you, especially you fronting the band, when you're playing guitar and your band is playing guitar. So yeah, there's just so many flavors and textures to your music that just when I thought I had it figured out, you'd send me somewhere else and I'd be like, oh my God. And she does this also. And I think that that's what makes you such a cool, unique
Well, thank
artist.
you. Thank you. It's been so much fun just creating and creating without having to stay in one lane or the other. Obviously I'm a metalhead, so a lot of those influences are what I love about the music that not only we've put out, but what we've been working on as well, because we just get to like explore and kind of be this country writing within the rock community, which I think is really cool. And it's just been awesome because I'm, like I said, such a metalhead. So to be playing shows with some of my heroes, I'm just like in awe.
So much fun. And talk to me about your label because, I love that you're on, because I'm looking and I'm like, she's on Epitaph. Like this is crazy. Now, Epitaph, for some of you who are listening or watching, a cool punk. There's a lot of metal in there though also. Bands like Social Distortion and Rancid and Falling in Reverse and The Interrupters. And there's all these like super cool bands that have been on Epitaph, founded by a member of the band Bad Religion, Brett from Bad Religion. So you're an artist who I think you need to have a label behind you that gets what you're doing. And not
100%.
somebody that's like, oh, she's such a cute girl. We're gonna pop her up and turn her into, and I love Taylor. I'm a big Taylor Swift. I think what she's done is incredible. But
Yes.
that's not who you are. You're somebody else.
Right.
And so I would imagine that there would be people who would want to put you in that box. So Epitaph sees you and I'm like, bam, perfect, perfect for her. So talk to me about how that connection came.
So I remember when I first had my very first meeting with Epitaph last year before we had signed. And the biggest thing that I was looking for in a label, because it all came very fast. As soon as 6 Feet blew up, we had a #1 hard rock on the Billboard charts, just organically, which was crazy. And when I met with Epitaph, I had found a family that understood me as the metalhead who was listening to all of her favorite bands on her CD Walkman, who just wanted to create something that's so special and like talks about mental health, and we can kind of explore the sound a lot more. And I knew from the minute that I met with them that they were going to be not only my champion, but also my family that is standing behind me and rooting me on. So they saw the vision as soon as I met with them. And I was like, I
Wow.
see that they see the vision. And it's not about signing a deal. It's about signing a deal with the perfect people for you as an artist. And as soon as I met with them, I knew that they were my family.
Yeah. You have to be with, I've spoken to artists about this before. You have to be with somebody who says, I believe in what you're doing and we want to be a part of that,
Yes.
as
And they
opposed
don't
to
want
you
to,
should be doing this or you should be doing this.
absolutely. And they don't want to change you. They want you to do what you do, but help you grow. And I just knew right off the bat when I met with like Brett and Sue and Lisa and Edie, and I just was like, this is where I want to be and share, this journey with. So I am so grateful to be with them. It's honestly an honor to be there.
You are just I think it's perfect, an absolute perfect fit. And I'm so happy that they have you on the label. So let's talk about the collaboration with our good friend. We love Asking Alexandria at WDHA. They did our parking lot party and came out and played for everybody.
Oh,
They're not only are they a great band, but they're such fun guys.
I know. Aren't they
Danny and the crew
incredible?
are just amazing. So you get together with Danny Worsnop. How did you decide that Danny was the right guy for this song, and how did this whole thing come to be?
So when we had written the song, the fact that he wanted to be a part of it and put his name on it and us put it out together was such an incredible moment that I was like, wow, I think we've created something super special that not only relates to me, but relates to other people as well. Like, I think it's a song for first responders. I've dedicated it to them. And it's continued to grow since it dropped a few weeks ago. But working with Danny was one of my favorite things in the world because obviously I look up to him so much, and I'm a big fan of Asking as well. So to be able to like work with someone who I just idolize, it was so cool and it was so genuine and real that I'm so you know, humbled that I even got the opportunity to do this song with him. And this song just means so much to me.
Oh, it's such a great song. It's such a banger. Death Wish, by the way, one of the most unique sounding songs out there. Your vocal, there's like a million hooks in the song, and it's just like boom, boom, boom. I mean, it's just such a cool jam.
It was one of my favorite ones to write. I'm just so glad that it's relatable and it's being taken so well now that it's out. Because when we were leading up to the release, I was like, I hope everyone loves it. Like I've loved this song, and I kind of put everything I had emotionally behind it to make sure that it was perfect. Like the video had to be perfect, and I had seen the concept for the video in a dream, and I was like, we have to do it and it has to be so specific, and we went out and we got it, and it's just like been such a crazy journey on that song, really.
Well, I think you've also done a great job letting people know who you are in your videos, because the videos are these great little vignettes of storytelling. Each one is very unique and very different. They don't all look the same. No way.
Yeah.
And because sometimes like I'll be looking and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's her. Oh yeah, she's doing this too. And you've done such an awesome job. Have you had a big part of the creation of those pieces?
Yes. So most of the videos that we have done, I think we've done 3 so far, have all been something out of my imagination. Death Wish especially, but with 6 feet, I had gone to Maxmore and I was like, hey, like this is the concept that I want, and this is what I want it to kind of look like, and then I was like, do you think you could spin me in a chair upside down? And he was like, what?
Yeah,
And
and I'm watching you and I'm like, and she can act too. She's like a great actress. Like, because it's such an incredible piece to
Thank you.
watch. 6 Feet Deep, we're talking about right now. And yeah,
Yes.
that's what sort of got me into the whole video like vignette thing. And I'm like, oh my God, all her videos are so different. Nothing looks the same.
It's been really cool because not only like dreaming up all of these concepts, I see them early on, which is so funny. When we write the song, that's when I start like get the wheels turning on the music videos and what those would look like if they were to come out. So 6 Feet was such an amazing time. I had so much fun. And then I get to kind of do something that's terrifying apparently in every single music video. So I got hung from 15 feet in the air upside down.
Crazy wild.
Oh my goodness. And then they spun me. I think I spun like 200 times that day to get that shot. It was, I
You
like loved
puke?
everything
Did you like throw up or anything? Or was it like, no, no,
No,
good for you. Good for
no, but
you. She's
it was one of
tough.
those
She's tough.
moments. Thank you.
Our
Thank you.
Punktry girl is tough.
I know. And then for Death Wish, I actually got to like suit up and be one of the firefighters in one of the sequences in the burning building, which is
Wow.
crazy. So I actually got to go in with them. They have like a burning simulator kind of thing, but it's real fire and it's
And
just
she
for
does her own
training.
stunts. This is
Apparently, I do
wild.
my own. Stunts is like a very, very light stunt,
She's
I
a
would
stunt
say.
woman too. Wow.
But it's been
Wow.
cool to do something that scares me and gives me anxiety almost, to face it and to go out there and do it for these videos. And, hopefully like someone else out there who's scared to do something will go out and do it. Hopefully, yeah, kind of the music. Like we talk about mental health, and I gotta be also facing my fears as well.
I
So
always say that, being brave, and you also have to be a little bit where you're just willing to take a chance.
yeah,
You get those moments of kind of brave and crazy where you're like, you know what? I'm going in. Let's go in.
yeah.
I'm going in.
Absolutely. When they put the oxygen mask on me, I was like, I don't know if I could do this. And they're like, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. So I did it and I was really proud. So it's little things like that that just bring it full circle.
So let's talk about the mental health aspect too, because there's such an organic nature with the songs, and they're so easy to connect with. So, how as a writer is it so easy for you to be so exposed? Because when you're really exposing yourself like that, it's literally like I always say you're like there with your pants down, with your swinger hanging out. Like you're so exposed, but that's not always so easy to do. Is it easier for you to do, say, as a songwriter than it is just like in your everyday life?
No, I'm pretty open about the topic of mental health. I'm a very big advocate for speaking about it and ending the stigma that it has around it, because I think that we lose a lot of people just because they're too scared to talk about it. And I don't want anyone who comes to my shows to feel like they can't talk about their mental health struggles, and because it's okay at the end of the day, like it is okay to struggle with your mental health and it's okay to talk about it. So
Absolutely, absolutely. I've been a spokesperson for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention for the last like 4 or 5
awesome.
years. Very important organization to me to be involved with and go out, and I do my team walks for the radio station every year. And it's
Oh,
so important having these artists, Shinedown, Brent from Shinedown sent me some stuff for the walk, and I've talked about it with Jacoby from
oh,
Papa Roach. So I think it's so noble and important that our artists speak out about it because it makes such a difference. I cannot tell you how many listeners I speak to that just feel so connected knowing that people go through the same things that they go through.
absolutely. And knowing that, someone that you look up to and listen to on the radio that seems so far away from you in that moment isn't actually that far away from you, because you're never alone. And I know that when I was growing up, music just saved my life. It saved everything that, I don't know what I would have done without it, because I was that person living on a farm in the middle of nowhere and no one really understood who I was except for the people that I was listening to, even though they had no idea who I was. And I realistically didn't even know them. You know their band, but you don't know them and what they struggle with. And I think that it's important for music to be used as a healing tool and it to be genuine. And I will never stop advocating for mental health, and you'll hear it in the songs as they continue. It's what I've surrounded my entire life around is mental health. 6 Feet Deep was a mental health song that was half country, half rock, and it went on to do crazy things just because people related to it. And I didn't know that people were going to relate to it in the way that they did, but I'm so glad that it's helping people out there.
And I think that you have had such success with what you're doing. And there's one word I'm going to use to describe it. And that's why I wanted to have you on the Zoom because I'm like, I have to talk to her. You're a very authentic artist.
Thank you. Thank
Authenticity is important because authenticity can't be faked.
you.
And I think that people gravitate to people that they feel are very authentic.
Yes.
And I think that that has what has helped you organically build this fan base. The Punktry Club and people that are like, oh my God, she's the next big thing. This is going to be huge. Like your fan base, because I'll read comments on social media and you have that super loyal fan base. And I love seeing that because I love seeing young artists get that, especially from, and it's everyone. It's like I'll see people like I've been a country and metal fan for 40 years. I see people like on your socials, and I've never seen an artist like this. And I love that. I just think it's so important, but it's authenticity
Well, thank
that
you.
really I think brings people into the party. So tell me what your summer looks like. Are you out everywhere? Are you touring? What's going on? We got to get you in our neck of the woods here
I would love to
in the
come
New
and
Jersey,
hang
New
out with
York
you.
area. So
So
please,
next time we're there, I'm going to make sure that we have some time to hang out. Okay.
please, let's definitely do that. We'll get you to come by the station. It'd be awesome, awesome to have you.
Love it.
But you're out all summer. I'm sure you're on tour here. Blah, blah, blah. What's happening?
So we are out on my headlining tour, which is the Outsiders and Outcast tour, and that starts June 21st. And we hit a bunch of different markets. We're in Florida, Atlanta. We actually play Nashville, which I'm very excited to have like
So
a
exciting.
home
Yep.
show. And then we're at Chicago, Omaha, and a couple others off the top of my head. I think we're in Chapel Hill, North Carolina as
Yeah, I
well.
saw that. I saw that on your website actually. So you are, I think,
Yes,
in Chapel
yes.
Hill. Yep.
And like St. Louis and all of these amazing venues that I haven't gotten to play yet. So I'm so excited
So
to meet
exciting.
all the fans along the way. So we're out until mid-July, and then we're actually on Rocklahoma, Louder Than Life, Aftershock in the fall. So we've kind of got a lot going on.
That's phenomenal. That
I,
is
I'm so
fantastic.
excited.
Yeah, I love, love, love to see these artists that are on the, I call them the Ginormo festivals, and it's so amazing. And it's such a great opportunity for you to be out there and, bigger than life and playing for all of these fans. That is
It's
just
my
tremendous.
favorite. It's my favorite part. We do a free meet and greet at every show. So I'm actually like meeting everyone who's coming to the shows, because that's what's important to me, is that everyone feels seen and heard who comes to the shows. And I sit there and I will not leave until the last person has been seen, just because it's so important to me to meet the fans that are out there streaming the music.
Making that one-on-one connection is
Mhm.
so, so, so important.
Yeah,
And you do it
feels
well. You
me.
totally connect. You connect.
Oh,
You
thank
connect.
you.
It's
I
I
think
feel
it
like I'm
feels
in
me.
almost it's like Almost Famous where he's like, you know what I do? I connect. And that's exactly you
Yeah.
connect. It's like our Almost Famous moment. Death Wish is such a great banger, featuring Danny from Asking Alexandria. And Royal Lynn, I am so excited to have you on and to talk to you. And it's so great. And I can't wait to meet you in person.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you again for having me, and we are going to hang out, I promise.
Totally. Another amazing woman in rock and roll that is just kicking ass and taking names. I love it, love it, love it. You got to come by one day because on Fridays I do a show, a seasonal show called Queens of Noise. And
Okay.
it's an hour of female rockers, and we do it during the day, of course. And I don't do it because we play a lot of female rockers. I mean, everybody from, Hart to Pat Benatar to Nita Strauss to
Right.
the warning. But I like to let people know you can play them all in 1 hour and people are still going to love the show and not tune out.
Oh,
That's
I
my
love
point of doing it.
that.
So you got to come by and do a little co-hosting with me
I
once.
would love that.
That would be
Can we
so
set
much
that
fun.
up? I would love to do that.
Love it. Thank you so much for hanging out, Royal Lynn. Definitely an artist to watch, watch, watch. It has been such a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. The pleasure's all mine. Thank
And
you
I
so
feel
much.
like don't we feel like we've known each other for like 15 years? Like what's going on?
I do. I do. I don't want to go.